Oh, maybe. Yeah, it's there you go. And it should be a connected menu. Perfect. All right, let's do mm,
Which one are we live in? The sisterhood or
the main page.
okay.
Good morning. You can turn your camera on. I think we're live, although it's not showing me that we're live. There we are. Okay, great. Hi.
Hi.
Good morning. Happy Monday. My
Happy
name is
Monday.
Jillian. I'm here with Teaira Abston, and we're here to talk about marketing on Marketing Monday. Because why not get clever?
Oh my God.
I need more sleep. That's very real. And let's go. So, Tara, tell us a little bit about your business. Talk to us a little bit about your experience in marketing before we start talking about our topic for the day. That way, everybody kind of knows who you are, where you're coming from. We're on our main CEO consulting page, so you're public facing. So, anyone in the sisterhood that might watch might already know you, but there are new faces that watch too. So, tell us a little bit about
Yes.
yourself and your business.
Hello, everyone. I'm Teaira Abston. I'm the owner of Dreamcatcher Creative Studio, and we help service providers, more specifically health and wellness brands, with evolving their brands so that they can create premium or attract premium clients. And we help them with everything from brand strategy to design and now automation. And so, what I love about helping the clients is helping them bring all that stuff together, from the messaging piece to the visual piece that most people think of, the logos, the colors, their website, and then also helping them with streamlining their business. And so they're not like trying to piecemeal all these different things together, and helping them with the overall workflow of their brand. So, I started off having a company that focused on stationery way back in 2015. And I did that
Mhm,
for about 5 years. And I think along the way, I figured out a lot of different things about marketing, a lot of different things about branding. Like
mm,
everybody, I DIY'd everything in the very beginning because you have that small budget that you're working with, and you're honestly
mhm.
just trying to figure stuff out. And so
Right.
it was me showing up on every platform. It was me going to all the networking events. It was me paying for subscriptions to have my stuff posted in different places. It was all of that.
Mhm.
So that was like my introduction, I think, to like overall marketing and what it's like to actually run your business and whatnot.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
So I met you at a networking event,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll never forget. We were sitting at it was a winery, right? Was it a
Think
winery
so.
or
Yeah, I think
a
it's a
bar
wine,
or
a
some kind
wine,
of
wine bar. Yep.
wine bar? And we're
Mm-hmm.
sitting there, and you came and sat down next to me. We just started talking, and you and I just clicked, which was so
Immediately.
delightful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Immediately. Yeah, it was like kindred spirits, same brain, and doing ultimately
Design.
the same thing as,
Yep.
design work. And
Yep.
that's what we were doing then, which I think is so delightful. And it's been really fun to watch your business evolve over the years that I've known you. It's definitely taken a lot of transitions. I've watched you publish your like your not testimonies but your projects. You post pictures
Mm-hmm.
of like the websites and the designs and stuff that you create, and you're extremely talented.
Thank you.
Very, very good. I love your work. So if you haven't had a chance to check out her stuff, I highly recommend it. She's so good. And today what we want to talk about is we're in July, and we're going to focus on realigning marketing strategies, but we want to talk about what you need to be thinking about, not just like generically
Yeah.
realigning your macro strategy, because we want your goals to stay the same. We want to see you successful and
Yep.
reaching those goals and giving those goals that you've set for yourself a chance to be something you can prove to achieve.
Yep.
But not everything you're doing is probably worth your time, money, or effort. And we
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about those things. And as young entrepreneurs, or even as like new in the entrepreneur world, it's really easy to say, I need help in this area. I need help in this area. I need help in this area. Subscribe, 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 right? And then all of a sudden you're like, why do
Yep.
I spend $700 a month on subscription?
Absolutely.
I,
And may
you
not
know,
use them. May not even use them.
Yeah, like never logged in or
Yep.
anything. And so talk to us a little bit, Tier. How do you make that decision for yourself? What is necessary to have a subscription for to save you time versus where can you be integrating a more strategic plan, maybe with peopling a little bit if you have staff people or support or virtual assistants? How do you find that balance in starting with that first line of audit is do I need everything I'm paying for? How do you do that?
Well, like everybody, I did the subscription to everything because it's like, oh, this new shiny thing. But I think once I started realizing, okay, what am I even using this for? Or I'm overlapping the
Mm,
functionality in two different programs or things. I just kind of start to kind of strip away, what I'm doing. But once I recalibrate everything, I always tell folks, write out all the stuff that you need to do and
yeah,
then see out of all these things you're paying for what each of them do, right?
right. Mm-hmm.
And if you don't absolutely need it in that season, get rid of it or
Mm-hmm.
pause it, whichever one feels the best for you. But I also tell people if you don't have all this stuff, if you write it out first, it makes the most sense because you can write the
Mm-hmm.
process, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's starting with the most basic version of whatever it is, right? So it's
Right.
you need to start in spreadsheet, start with just Google
Mm-hmm.
Drive and utilize what Google Drive can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we get tied to these systems that we think we need. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's way more than what we know how to do or we have the money to pay somebody
Right.
to do.
Right.
So just always go back to the drawing board. If you can do it quarterly, like just audit all the stuff that you're
Mm-hmm.
paying for and
Right.
determine how is this helping me and is it bringing in more income? Is it making my workflow better? Like, what is it
Right.
actually helping you with?
Right.
And then of course look at your numbers. Like I know all my budget folks, all my money folks would say
Mm-hmm.
numbers don't lie.
Mm-hmm.
So, as much as we get afraid, especially creatives, we don't often like to look
Mm-hmm.
at the numbers. Look at the
Oh,
numbers.
it's like sunlight to a vampire. You're like, no, don't show it to me.
Look at the numbers. Okay. I tell people that. And the other thing is like oftentimes, like now I kind of have it set up to where I try to take advantage of the big sale points, so like the
Mhm.
Black Fridays, right? But it's
Mhm.
only if it's like in alignment with where I'm going, right? So or I'm
Right.
using it now, I need it now, or it's in alignment. And I do a
Mhm.
annual sale to cut back tremendously on the cost.
Right.
However, if you're not even sure or if it's a stretch goal or if you're not committed to that goal, then go monthly, test it out, do a
Mhm.
trial if you can, but don't go
Mhm.
all in on these systems, especially if you haven't really tested or you know exactly what it
Right.
does. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we'll come into a company and we'll be auditing whatever their marketing systems are and kind of go, do you need all these emailers? Like your website does this, you've got
Yep.
constant contact, your CRM does this, and they all can do the
Yep.
thing. And it's amazing how people are like, oh, I didn't know. And it's like,
Hmm.
okay, let's peel it back for a second because
Yep.
not only are you taking up your time by researching these systems that you're
Yep.
trying to put into play and then learning how to use them. And if you're not tech savvy, you're probably just totally blowing your time. You're probably lighting your time on
Absolutely.
fire because tech is relatively point click and easy if you grew up with it, but like
Hmm.
if you don't have that ingrained in you and you don't have a person on your team to be that, you don't need to be leaning so heavy into the tech automation world because
Yes.
you were just going to spin and spin and spin. What
And
content
stretch
can I
yourself
create?
out.
Yeah, and then when are you going to work on your business, or when are
Yeah.
you going to show up well for your business because you're
Hmm.
stressed out all the time?
Yeah.
So I think that's very wise to take some time. Do you have any specific tech pieces that you use that you could not go without as a marketer, like
Oh
specific
yeah.
programs? What do you like?
So okay. Um, some of it kind of go together, I'd say.
Hmm.
But from a design perspective, of course, I'm using Adobe, right? But
Hmm.
as a normal person that runs business, I also use Canva Pro. Everybody
Yep.
uses Canva, right? So I
Hmm.
cannot go. And at first, I used to low key like not. love it because I'm like, it's trying to get rid of all the designers. Like that was the first initial thought. But
Hmm.
then I started to realize people are adopting this and it's making my job also easier, right? If I need to
Hmm.
create stuff quickly, cannot go without it. It
Right.
also helps from my client perspective. So if I'm needing to easily transfer stuff over, they need to make small edits after they're done working with me, they feel confident in this piece of software
Right.
because it's easy to work. So that's one for sure.
Hmm.
Also, from a marketing perspective, so if you're heavy into Facebook and Instagram, of course, Meta for Business, there are
Hmm.
tons of other schedulers out there. But again,
There are.
that costs money. And
They cost money.
if you have
Hmm.
yet to meet their revenue and feel like it's worth your time, or if you don't have the ability to really learn it, or if you're
Hmm.
not consistent with your content,
Consistent. Let's say that word louder.
consistent, okay,
Consistent.
then roll it back. So at one point, I paid. I paid
Hmm.
for, I think it was later for a while, and I was going, and then it was like, okay, now I'm not consistent with my content. I'm just paying this money,
Hmm.
and I was like, I'm just gonna cancel this until I figure out my messaging, so I get more
Hmm.
clear. And then over time, I was like, I don't even need it. I'll just use this thing. And once they rolled
Right.
out being able to schedule in the system in the tool, I think they rolled it out in like other things too, LinkedIn, all that
Right.
stuff.
Hmm.
It's like, what's the true need for it?
Right. Right.
Um, so those probably are like the two that I would say from a marketing perspective. But the other big
Hmm.
one that people sleep on, completely
Hmm.
sleep on, is like how much Google is powerful for your brand and how it's free.
Right.
It's
Uh-huh.
free. So anything that's in the Google realm, like Google My Business Profile, that you can
Hmm.
consistently post content, consistently update. You can post as if you're posting on Instagram, that type of thing. That's another one that I'm trying to adopt the mindset of this is a piece of my marketing arm because it's
Hmm.
telling Google that I am a legit business and I am open for business, that I need clients, etc. And it's proving your credibility overall. So those
Right.
probably would be like the top three that are like from a marketing perspective. But of course, there's others from like a business perspective as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
know Die Hard over here on Canva. It is so
Yes.
easy to interact with
Yes.
clients. So even if we pull it out of Adobe, we don't share the Adobe file. We
Hmm.
share the Canva file. It is
Yeah.
just so much easier because you can comment. It acts
Yeah.
like Google, so
Yes.
it's all live. So
Yeah.
multiple people can be in the document together or the design
Yes.
or whatever it is, and you can be leaving notes with each other and
Yeah.
communicating directly in one space, which
Yeah.
streamlines your efforts. It minimizes how much you are spending filing your files away, which we
Uh,
should talk about for a second. We don't spend a lot of time talking about this, but like, y'all, if you have digital anything, you need a digital filing system. And if you
oh
don't have
yeah.
a good digital filing system,
Storage.
you're probably wasting so much time looking for things on your computer or in your drives or
You don't even
like,
know.
oh, I remember one time we had a photo. Okay, put that in the photo drive. Oh, I just threw it in a folder. Cool.
What
We're never
folder?
going to find it with no title on it, no date, no, no. Okay, great. We're never going to find that photo. Why don't you spend the
Yeah.
next 8 hours looking for that while
Yeah.
we light the business on fire? I'm just kidding.
Yes. No, you're right.
It's important, right?
It's
Talk to me
very
about how
important.
do you do it? Because as content developers, we have an enormous amount of filing we do. How do you manage your files?
Okay, I legit wish I was better about it because
Man, me too. I feel
I'm
judged to myself.
sometimes I'm really good. And when it comes to like Canva and stuff, I feel like that's pretty organized and I name my files pretty well. I
Mhm.
wouldn't say I have necessarily a convention, which I probably should in Canva. But when
Right.
it comes to like the big files, like the Adobe files, because I create a lot of branding files and stuff outside of
Hmm.
Canva, I have a system that's like client work, year,
Hmm.
um, and I typically break it down based on phases. So you know how we kind of go
Hmm.
from end to end, from like copy to branding
Right.
to SEO. So we have it kind of categorized for that. But we have an
Right.
internal client drive for like team.
Hmm.
So that's
Hmm.
like active files being worked on in Google
Right.
Drive that everyone on the
Right.
team has access to. But then
Mm-hmm.
we also have the client, the external facing Google Drive specific to
Hmm.
that client. So it's kind of like locked down to the client and maybe her
Right.
team or his team. And we have it organized the same way, but these are like final delivered files and they're able to
Right.
find it based on like primary logo, blue, that type of
Right.
thing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of how I guess organize. But I know
Mm-hmm.
I could do it so much better. But my creative brain is like
Yeah.
it's good enough and it works. But I can see like as the team potentially grows, or
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably need a more organized way to do things, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's a very good point. That has been on my list to like perfect for like a long time. But I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll come back to that.
I know, man.
I'll
That's
come
one of
back
those like always goes on the back burner, but then you
Mhm.
regret it the year later that you realize you've been putting it on the back burner for a year and you're like, oh
Yeah.
man, I should
So
have done
it could be like
that.
a good idea. Now that I'm thinking about it, would be a annual thing of like you reviewing your files from the past year, and
Hmm.
having if you haven't applied or you haven't been consistent, going back and renaming things and maybe archiving them
Right.
in a separate space. So
Right.
that you start off, this is the new construction for this upcoming year. This is how we're going to do
Hmm.
it. You create a SOP for your team. Like that is the right
Right.
way to do it.
Hmm.
But, as people roll in and things are busy, you lose sight sometimes of
Yeah.
the real convention of like naming the
Hmm.
files, but don't like just leave it as 123 JPEG.
Right. Oh
Never
my
do
gosh.
that. Never do
Don't
that.
do that. Don't do
Never do that.
that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Don't do yourself a favor and just solve
Absolutely.
that problem for the future now when
Yeah.
you save that document. I
Yes.
want to share one of the ways that we like to get creative and I like to think of it like inception documents. And
Hmm.
so my team, we use Google. And
Okay.
like this is like our book club document. This is for the whole year. So as we read the books and we write out the trans or do the things for the thing for the book club, we
Yep.
have access to everything right here. So this is
Oh,
here, and then
yes.
in here you can get to it. So I have it here, and I can get to the actual companion guide in either
Oh,
document. And
yeah.
we're always linking things to make it
Yes.
easier for us to
Yes.
find things
Yes.
because you shouldn't have to go looking everywhere all the
It's
time
smart.
in
Yeah.
order for you to get to what you need to. And even if it's redundant, like it is here, this is the document where we write the book summary in, but then it gets pulled into design and it goes
Yes.
into here. And this is what
Yes.
we end up, downloading and giving to the our sisterhood members who join our book club. But we could just have to look for this.
But
We
it
could
takes too
just
much
have to
time.
takes too
Yeah.
much time. So
Yeah.
if you know that your plan of action is your core document, which is what this is,
Hmm.
then from there you can keep
All the
everything
supporting.
aligned in
Yeah.
yeah, in that thing, including linking to the drive for any of those resources like the photos and
Yes.
videos and stuff that you're sharing back and forth or needing to edit.
Yeah.
All of that can be linked in your plan of action of whatever you're creating. So like what you
Yeah.
were saying earlier, start with the basic, use
Hmm.
the Excel, use the Google
Yes.
Doc, like start simple but save yourself time in the future. You will get better at creating organizational systems for your business,
Yes.
especially in marketing as you practice it, because it'll become a flow for you if you're doing it
Mhm.
consistently.
No, that's true because now that you brought that up, I actually do it for certain things. Like, for instance, a big project that we're working 6 months on this project, and we have all the
Mhm.
team members working on it. I forgot what we call it, but it's like the main document similar to that, and we
Yeah,
link to all the supporting things. So we're linking to Google Drive,
exactly.
Canva, we're
Hmm.
linking to all this stuff just
Right,
because it takes less time to just refer to
right,
this document. You know who's the project lead, you know who's the
right.
designer. It's just 10 times better. And you just had me think I should do this for my clients because even though
Yes.
I'm giving them
Yeah.
everything in the Google Drive and it's
Hmm.
organized, having that one document
Having that one.
would
Hmm.
also be a good supporting like file and it has
Yeah.
everything together for them. So that's a good
Right.
idea. Thank you.
So you can even, girl, let's go further because this will probably help someone else too. You can
Hmm.
either go, let's say you start a project and you pull your proposal out,
Hmm.
itemize it with Chat GPT, my
Hmm.
best friend.
Mine too.
itemize it as a to-do list, so it's checkbox.
Oh,
And at
yes.
the end, all important links go at the bottom. You check it off, they can see where they are in your project, and they always have your evergreen links. And that is one supporting document that every time you give a review or an update for the
Hmm.
client, they could just get that. Everything they
Yeah.
need is there and they can track
Yeah.
the project. Another way to do that too, we use Asana.
I
So I
have one
want to
too.
talk,
Yep.
girl.
I use
Okay.
ClickUp though, but
Oh, do you?
I'm glad you said that
We
that
almost went
very
with ClickUp. Yeah.
basic version. Let me tell you why. So
Yeah.
the very basic version of leveraging ChatGPT, putting it in Google Drive or
Hmm.
Google Doc,
Hmm.
people get so overwhelmed with 15 different systems. So what
Yes.
I found to be helpful is to not even share all of the tasks with the clients. We created a dashboard. That's
Right.
basically a Google Drive situation, right?
Hmm.
Because them getting random tasks and trying to figure out how to work the system, how to
Right.
okay, this is what I was like, they don't want to learn this, okay?
Right.
And I'm trying to
Right.
teach and it's not working. So that what you
Right.
just said,
Hmm.
start with that. If your clients, if
Hmm.
they can't, or if you get the vibe that it's too overwhelming for them to learn it, or if it's too
Right.
overwhelming for you to learn it, go with the most basic
Yes.
version. The
Because
most basic version.
any type of system that you will stick to is a good
Mhm.
system for you.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's really hard to be like in that comparison zone where you're like, well, all these good businesses use Adobe and they pay more
Mhm.
money for these programs and they use MailChimp and have WordPress sites. I hear people say this all the time,
Yeah.
as if Adobe and WordPress and these MailChimp and stuff are more superior programs.
You gotta know how to
They are
use it.
not. You
You
got to
gotta
know
know
how
how
to
to
use
use
it.
it.
If you,
That
you
part.
WordPress is absolutely useless if you don't even know how to log in.
Say it again. Or if you don't
What?
understand how to update a plugin.
Yeah, like you can't do that, then that's not the right platform for you. You
Yeah,
need to be where you are capabilities wise,
comfortable.
especially if you can't afford a team to do it for you. And
Absolutely.
I think that's an important thing to remember is auditing your own time costs the company money, even if you're
Mhm.
not paying yourself, which you should be. And if you are not paying yourself in
Mhm.
your business, you need to book a call with Tina immediately because
That
you
part.
should be paying yourself, and
Mhm.
that comes from experience when I didn't pay myself for a long
No, I
time.
know.
She
I
did
know.
it.
Yep. So one other thing that I think I'm sure you guys do this too from like a marketing perspective. Like once you streamline where you guys are showing up constantly, you guys are
Mhm.
not recreating the wheel every single time in every single
No.
marketing lane. You are repurposing the mega or the
Yes.
main, whatever it is, right? So for me, it was
Hmm.
like the blog post. You repurpose
Hmm.
pieces of the blog post is social media content. Whatever social media lane
Yes.
feels the most comfortable, right? So in my season
Hmm.
of examining where I'm showing up, I'm like, okay, I
Hmm.
need to get into the LinkedIn bag more. So it's
Yeah.
how do I repurpose this blog post into a
Hmm.
LinkedIn situation, a post?
Hmm.
I forgot what they call them, but they're like blogs on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I've seen those. I don't
To
remember the, yeah.
how can I put this on Google My Business as a post? How can I put
Right.
like basically you are not recreating the wheel for every single place, even email
Hmm.
marketing. Put it in, you know, have a rhythm for these things and repurpose every
Right.
month, every week, however the rhythm is for your business, so you're not stressed about marketing in your business.
Yeah. I think
Hmm.
that's so good. Like, I
Hmm.
know for us, our strategy is pretty concrete. When we work with clients, we have a pattern and it's been good since 21,
Hmm.
22, and there's no reason to change it right now. So, if you're looking for a posting strategy, a content strategy, the bare minimum recommendation is 3 posts a week
Hmm.
spread out. So
Yep.
not all in one day,
No.
preferably every other day, spread them out.
Schedule.
Yeah, schedule them. And then it's 2 long form blog posts, which means they're over 700 to 900 words. They should be over 900
A
words, I think, for
thousand, yeah.
Google's at that. Yeah, I think they
Hmm.
changed it, right? So two long first form blog posts with backlinks, meaning you have a reference link to a larger reference point, a larger reference site. So maybe it's a statistic
Hmm.
from that's industry specific from a reputable,
Brand.
brand. Yeah,
Hmm.
just I don't want to throw any brands out there right now, but like
Yeah.
from a reputable brand, and you want to link to that study from Harvard or that study from, whatever that business journal was. So all of that plays to the overall strategy. And the final piece is the newsletter, because you should be integrated like this in your
Yes.
marketing strategy.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit. Let's talk about integrated marketing strategy. So I personally, like, my experience is I have the digital and the print. I have the grassroots and not the grassroots. I've had
Hmm.
budgets and no budgets. So
Yeah.
I've kind of been on the full spectrum of
Hmm.
it, but you focus predominantly or completely on digital. Is that
No.
correct? No?
No.
Okay. So
Well,
talk to me about your thing, your stuff.
I'm not okay, so no, from the perspective I'm not really doing like print ads or anything like that.
Okay. Hmm.
But I focus heavily on in-person networking. So
Yes,
the
I love
past
that.
maybe year and a half, I feel like my way of building trust has been in person, um, groups or organizations where we see each other pretty regularly. And I
Hmm.
think it could be because my line of work, some people would call it high ticket, right? So if you're over
Hmm.
X amount of thousands of dollars, right? In
Hmm.
order for people to feel comfortable spending that kind of money with me, especially in this world of automation and AI, and I can go to Fiverr for
Hmm.
$5, they have to trust that I'm going to deliver their website,
Right.
their messaging, whatever. So relationship building has been huge for my brand, right?
Yes.
Um,
Hmm.
and maybe it's because coming out of the pandemic, everybody was outside, everybody was excited to meet people, etc. But as my brand grows, I'm like, okay, I love that, but I have to continue with the digital side of it. I had to reframe and reclarify my brand. And so now that I'm doing that, I'll probably be leaning into digital again more heavily. But I don't think I'll ever give up the in person relationship building piece because it's been
Yeah.
so good for like literally meeting people, connecting with people,
Hmm.
and just building that trust, for people to say, okay, Teaira can do what I need. She
Hmm.
understands me. She understands my brand. She has my best interest at heart
Right.
versus just seeing my website that I post, it's a different level. Like my people aren't
Right.
coming from Instagram from that one
Right.
post. It is
Right.
probably from a networking situation. We talk on Zoom, somebody else vouch for me. Then they
Hmm.
may come back around and say, okay, I'm ready to buy.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. And I think
Yeah.
that it's important to recognize that journey for your customer.
Hmm.
Everyone's customer journey is going to be a little bit different, and how people
Yeah.
come to you is going to be a little
Yeah.
different. A good exercise you could do if you haven't done this before, or to do in your realigning of your marketing strategy, is assessing the top 10 places you've received a referral from.
Yes.
So, or a
Yes.
client from. So maybe it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and then maybe you're on I don't know,
Google.
you've got your website, you're on Google, you go to networking events, maybe you have three friends that really believe in you and they just happen
Yeah.
to like shove clients through your funnel all the time
You
or
have
whatever.
a referral,
Yeah.
what do you call it? Network, basically. Your past
Yeah.
clients become
Hmm.
your, what is that book? Your zombies. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Zombie Loyalist.
Yes,
Oh, we
your
love
zombie.
that
Yeah.
book.
When did we read
That
that?
man, year one business school,
Yes,
you read
year
Zombie
one.
Loyalist. That's a, if
Yes,
you have not read that book, we highly recommend that
yes.
book. Turning someone into a zombie loyalist is the concept
Yep.
of just really knocking it out of the park on the client experience in a
Yes.
way that makes them say, no matter what, I'm diehard. Like I'm
Listen,
here. This is
that
me. I'm
is
here for
that's
it.
the best paid, I mean, the best unpaid marketing too. Cause like I had when I
Hmm.
first shifted to branding in 2020, my first client, she still comes back to me like almost twice a year.
Hmm.
I need updates. I need this. Like, what does that say about your brand if the person that started with you
Hmm.
is still, and then you get other clients and you try to mimic
Hmm.
that client, right? And even if you have outgrown that client, but somebody
Right.
vouching for you, you don't know who that person
Hmm.
knows. Like
Right.
it's almost like what they call warm leads because people
Yeah.
trust their friends, their colleagues, etc.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a good book.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
It's a great book. And if you don't have in your strategy for your marketing plan this quarter in-person networking events, Tara is not lying. That is one of the most powerful and
Yeah,
impactful ways to grow your brand is to show up physically for it.
that part.
So if you are like me and you don't live local to where your business is necessarily, or the majority of your business is, then you need to be showing up in digital spaces. You need to
Yes.
find a way to connect with your audience in a
Hmm.
meaningful way, not in a shallow way. Like the people know.
Yes.
They can
Yes.
feel the difference. And you
Yeah.
don't want to detract people from your brand. You want to attract them. And
Yeah.
so going to networking events, getting comfortable with your elevator pitch, getting comfortable with
Yeah.
which elevator pitch to use in
Yes.
which
Ooh,
room. I
yes.
think it's really important. I
Absolutely.
know I have several elevator pitches, and it depends on who I'm talking to.
Yep.
But knowing your messaging through and through is a key part of that. And you're really good at figuring out the messaging. You've got a
Yeah.
good handle on that. Is there any kind of thing that you would recommend in a messaging audit for this marketing realignment that maybe people should be thinking about or
Ooh, that's a good
reviewing and
one.
considering?
I would say number one, don't use jargony language, which
Yes.
becomes hard sometimes. But think about your marketing message as what is the benefit for the person that you want to buy from you? What do they care about, right? So, like for
Right.
me, it is increasing their sales, increasing their impact, especially as I
Mhm.
support health and wellness brands. They care about, of course, revenue, but they also care about the impact on the people that they're
Right.
helping, right? But it's
Right.
also who you help, right? So the person,
Mhm.
so it's clear. So health and wellness, like whatever, and you might shift it
Mhm.
as you're in different rooms, and then it's how you do it. So
Right.
who, what, and how, right? And
Mhm.
if you can add that benefit at the beginning, you usually grab
Mhm.
their attention first, right? Like that's all they
Mhm.
care about. How am I going to win? Not how are you going
Mhm.
to win? How am I going to
Mm.
win?
Right.
And hell, if you're not sure if it's catchy enough, put it in ChatGPT.
Yes.
Okay. If it's too long, put it in ChatGPT. Hey, chat,
Mhm.
help me create a more succinct, dynamic elevator pitch, less than 30 seconds, 1 minute. Do
Right.
all the versions and leverage that tool in order to help you
Yes.
basically be very clear in how you can benefit for people. That's the biggest lesson. How do you benefit
Yes.
me? You know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's the thing that sets you apart. It's your value proposition. It's the thing
Yes.
that makes you who you are as a business. Your
Yep.
persona of your business, the way it shows up is going to depend on your value proposition. If
Absolutely.
you are in a room and your business sells whatever to women-owned businesses, but 90% of the room is men, are you in the right room? And how much did you pay to be there? And that doesn't
Yeah.
just include the ticket, it's your time.
Absolutely.
And as a CEO, you should be probably the highest paid person in your company. So consider your hourly rate and what is that hourly rate? And was that a good investment for your time? And
Man.
versus going, I can go to a smaller room, but all my ideal client and maybe close one, right?
Okay.
Like
Yes.
that's
Yes.
impactful. You put me in a
Yes.
room full of women and you give me 2 minutes to say something on stage. I'm closing someone in that room. You
Yep.
put me in a room full of men, I'm gonna go, you guys are so cute. I'm
Yeah.
gonna
I'll
shut
give
my
you
mouth. I'm not here
even
for it.
a more even like real life, like I don't know, some people they're nervous in big rooms. I'm one of them, right? Sometimes I
Hmm.
can turn it on, turn it off, but you put me in a room of 200 people. It's so many different type of business owners and men, women,
Hmm.
everything. And you're like, okay, 10 seconds, I'm not gonna name what it is, an event, 10
Hmm.
seconds, do your elevator pitch 19 times
Right.
versus something that you go to twice a month, 15 or 20 or less people.
Hmm.
That may be way, and for me, that was way more impactful because I'm seeing the same
Yes.
people. They get to know me.
Hmm.
And half of their room, if not more, is my ideal client because I know the profile, right?
Right.
That's spending your time in a place where you know you can actually meet people, number one, get referrals, and maybe even like have them be your client. So that is a good point. I love
Yes.
that you brought that up.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, we're a little bit over time. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we close off for today?
I would just say always be reviewing your messaging, always, right? Because as
Hmm.
everything shifts and evolves, it's okay to change, right? Don't be
Yes.
married to things.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you're shifting doesn't mean you are necessarily rebranding. So
Right.
keep that in mind. It might be a little shift, like
Right.
anything.
But
It may
there's a
be,
difference like between aligning or realigning and
yes,
rebranding are not the same thing. So
yeah,
I think that's definitely good advice.
yeah.
What would you, real quick, call out the difference between those two things? What would you say the difference between realigning your messaging versus rebranding your messaging? And how would you identify which one is necessary?
Um, I use myself as an example. So Um, I would say I did a realign as of recently.
Hmm.
I was more having my message be geared towards helping all business owners, like when I first started, all business owners
Hmm.
to I help service providers. And as I evolved with the brand, as I learned who I enjoy working with the most, it niched down further and further and further. And as I
Hmm.
realized how I was helping them, the benefit, the messaging shifted further, right? So
Right.
that is realigning your brand,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
Versus when I did wedding stationery, everything was different. It was wedding stationery, the colors was different, the logo was different, all that was different, right? Whole nother
Hmm.
B2C, like business to consumer. And then I
Hmm.
shifted to Dreamcatcher Creative Studio. Now it's business to business. The logo
Hmm.
changed, the colors changed, everything changed. That is a
Hmm.
complete rebrand.
Yes. Hmm.
Complete rebrand. Everything changed, right? You can no longer exist in the same I don't even know, probably even rooms in some perspective, right?
Right. Hmm.
And so website changed, everything changed. So that is a complete rebrand, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Love it. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for taking time to hop on with
Thank
us this
you.
Monday morning. And for everyone who watched, if you have any questions or comments, or if you're watching the replay, feel free to drop them in there. And Tara, if you get a second, hop on the page and let's tag your business
Okay.
Facebook page onto the in the comments so people can
Okay.
find you and
Mhm.
connect with you. So share some love, like and follow Teaira Abston. She's a great marketer. She's part of our sisterhood community, and she's a dear friend to all of us, and we love and support her greatly. So you're doing good work. Thank you for
Thank
helping
you.
us realign our messaging today. I
Thank
appreciate you.
you. I appreciate you, and it's been a pleasure getting to know you, but also being a part of the entire business school, sisterhood, everything. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you. We love having you. And everyone watching, we'll see you guys next Monday.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye.
Bye.